Good evening and welcome to Newsfeed. Today is Thursday, February 13th. I'm Sierra Schmidt.
And I'm David Sackrader. We're excited to have you watching here with us tonight. Let's see what's happening in Ann Arbor.
Local Ann Arbor resident Richard Derrick dies after a tragic slip and fall in Carytown. When on his daily walk with his dog Sammy, 88-year-old Derrick slipped on ice as he crossed the street. He was rushed to the hospital but unfortunately died the next day. Derrick's death highlights the issue of dangerous walking conditions for Ann Arbor residents. The fatal incident was brought up at the following city council meeting. Member Kathy Griswold stated, quote, "We had a senior in our community slip on an icy sidewalk and die. So for everyone listening, there is a reason why we need to keep our sidewalks free of ice and snow," end quote. Derrick was highly educated with 4 master's degrees. He taught all over the world, including in England, Germany, the Philippines, and the United States. His friends and family praised him for his love of helping others. A memorial to celebrate Derrick's life is planned for March 21st.
This story includes racially targeted language that may impact some viewers. Please take care of yourselves as you watch. A diversity and inclusion meeting at Saline High School was interrupted earlier this month when a man shouted from the crowd, quote, "Why didn't you stay in Mexico?" End quote. Adrian Iraola, a father of a student at the high school, was attempting to explain the issues his son is facing when he was interrupted by Tom Bertel, another student's father. This comes off the back of an incident in January where several Saline students were found posting racist remarks on social media. The school district is continuing to host meetings with the intent to rectify this issue, despite high tensions from the community.
On Monday, February 10th, the Ford School of Public Policy hosted Dr. Christopher A. Hart, former chairman of the NHTSA, for a lecture titled, quote, "Autonomous Vehicles and Challenges, Role of Governments," end quote. Hart, an aviation expert, discussed the future of autonomy in vehicles and current advancements being made by brands such as Tesla. He also discussed the ethics surrounding autonomy, specifically if vehicles should be programmed to protect the lives of their drivers or the people around them. Hart highlighted the importance of what he refers to as the, quote, "human-centric," end quote, autonomy, and discussed the dangers if people became overly reliant on autonomy. He stated a need for, quote, "graceful exits," end quote, in case of either failure of autonomy or an unresponsive driver. He stated that automation offers, quote, "significant potential benefits," end quote, if used properly.
Now it's time for a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with an interview by Newsfeed's own David Sackrader.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hey, I'm Tyler Perry. Do you know what hunger in America looks like? Well, it has many faces, and 15 million of those belong to children. Yet billions of pounds of food go to waste each year, and this is unacceptable. You can be a part of the solution. Join us in supporting the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks, which rescues our surplus foods and provides meals to many families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org today. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching Newsfeed. Let's continue with our local news. Hi, I'm David Sackrader, and I'm joined today by Lexi Long, a transfer student here at the University of Michigan. Lexi, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, first question I have for you is tell me a little bit about where you came from when you came to the University of Michigan.
That's a good question. I actually went to the University of Illinois Chicago before this, and I really did like the city, but I kind of wanted a place like where it felt more of like a community, more of a campus style. A lot of commuters went to my previous school, and I kind of just wanted to be able to like make friends easier, feel more involved on campus. And I wanted people to have school spirit because I'd be walking around my other campus, and everybody would have on like different sweatshirts and stuff. Nobody wore UIC gear, and it was weird. Like on my first day here, like everybody wore Michigan gear, and I loved it.
So is that what drew you to the university then?
Yeah, it was a lot of that, and then I just feel like I wanted to be challenged more. I feel like at my previous university that I was kind of going through like academics without being challenged. That concerned me because I came to college to learn a lot more, and I like how Michigan has the best of everything.
Awesome. So as in life, everything's got ups and downs. What would you say are the benefits of being a transfer student?
So I think the benefits of being a transfer student, for example, I did EUROP, so the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, as a junior, and most people that do that, like, because it's for first and second year students, so most people that do that are freshmen and sophomores, but I did it as a junior, and one of the people I was interviewing with said they actually did like transfer students to interview with them because they liked kind of like a more like mature person that's been through like a lot, like coming through and interviewing with them. So it's been kind of nice, and I think it just gives me like a unique perspective on things, and it's just like a unique story because most people aren't transfer students.
Right. And on the opposite side of things, what would you say are some of the disadvantages or some of the hard things about being a transfer student here?
So there's a few things. I think the number one thing, it was difficult at first to make friends. I know like a lot of people kind of like form like those relationships like their first year here, and we come in here and like everybody kind of has those relationships already. It's kind of hard. I was a little bit privileged since I am originally from Michigan. I did know a few people that already went here. I knew people that transferred here, so I had a lot of people to like go to advice to before I could make like friends of my own, which really came like my second semester here. But I think that was kind of difficult. And I do think Michigan has been improving since like I started here on providing resources for transfer students. But I know at first I kind of didn't like how there's like this transfer student experience like living area, and it used to be in Northwood, or it still is until like the end of this year, and it's more like apartment style, and it's a North Campus, so it's out of the way. But no, starting next year they're actually putting it on Stockwell and Hill, so I think that'll be better. There's the new transfer student center and the new LSNA building, so I just think they've been like slowly like evolving in my time here, and that's been nice to see.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Are there any transfer student organizations that you're a part of?
I'm involved more in like I guess like non like transfer focused organizations. I thought it would just be like a way to like meet like more people and kind of just like get myself out there. But I know that we do offer like a lot of those. Like there's the new like Transfer Student Alliance, and then there's like the Theta Sigma Transfer Student Frat. So they do have those offered, but I'm involved in clubs outside.
Well, that's really great. Thank you for joining me here today. I've been David Sackrader. Thank you. Thank you again, Lexi, for that insightful look into transfer student life. If you are interested in transfer student issues, check out the Transfer Student Symposium hosted by Central Student Government on March 30th at Weiser Hall. For more information, contact Eva Cluting.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some national and international news.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
first got to the University of Michigan, I went to Festival.
I first got involved on campus through an organization called ALMA, which stands for Assisting Latinos to Maximize Achievement.
My RA in East Quad, she invited me to join the Residence Halls Association.
I first got involved on campus actually at orientation, researching when I actually did my admissions process at the University of Michigan and saw that there was something called the Michigan Learning Communities.
My friend, she was the president of Noir Fashion Show.
I actually am the founder of the organization that I'm representing.
It all really happened just because I was kind of following, well, this is cliche, but I mean, I was following my heart.
Welcome back to Newsfeed. Now let's get into our national and international news. This past Sunday was the 92nd Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars. This year was a historic year as the film Parasite walked away with 4 awards, including Best Screenplay, Best International Feature, Best Director, and Best Picture. This is the first time that a film in a language other than English won the Best Picture category. Director Taika Waititi also won for his screenplay, Jojo Rabbit, which is the first time that someone of Jewish and Maori descent won an Academy Award, and fan favorite Hair Love won the short film category. However, there is still much controversy as there were no female directors nominated for Best Director, despite Greta Gerwig's acclaimed direction of Little Women. According to the Center for the Study of Women in Television and Film, women comprised 20% of all directors, writers, producers, executive producers, editors, and cinematographers working in the top 100 grossing films in 2019. Up from the 16% in 2018.
Following the tumultuous Iowa caucus last week, the Democratic presidential candidates had another chance to win over voters in New Hampshire. Once the votes were tallied, Senator Bernie Sanders came in first with 26% of the vote share, followed by Pete Buttigieg with 24%, signaling 2 early frontrunners. Former frontrunner Joe Biden took 5th place, trailing Senator Elizabeth Warren. After his win, Sanders stated, quote, "This victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump," end quote. Sanders and Buttigieg also took the top 2 spots in the Iowa caucuses once results were tallied, with Buttigieg first in delegate count and Sanders first in the popular vote. Senator Amy Klobuchar polled much higher in New Hampshire than Iowa, finishing in 3rd place. As Super Tuesday gets closer, these early primaries will set the tone for which Democrat might take on President Trump in the November general election.
The coronavirus epidemic is still sweeping the globe. As of February 12th, there has been more than 1,115 deaths worldwide. The Center for Disease Control recently confirmed the 13th case in the United States, causing concern that the disease may start spreading faster in the country. The Center for Disease Control has also issued a statement that some of the coronavirus testing kits in the United States and about 30 other countries are faulty. Worldwide, the first case of the virus was confirmed in London today. In China, the rate of diagnosis of the virus has begun to slow. Today was the 2nd day in a row that there was a reduction in the number of new cases. One of the most dramatic consequences of the disease has been the case of MS Westerdam cruise ship. Because of the fears that the ship may have someone with the virus on board, it has been denied entry to 5 countries. The ship has been granted permission to dock in Cambodia.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. I'm David Sackrader.
And I'm Sierra Schmidt. And you've just been Newsfed.